Hello and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton's Communications and Marketing Department. And today we've gone on location to the Charles H. Taylor Art Center for what is one of my favorite exhibitions that they have every year. It's the Peninsula Glass Guild. And my guest today is the chairman of the show and a member of that Glass Guild, Allie Rogan. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Robin, for inviting the Glass Guild here to share what we do best.
It's wonderful, and you have been telling me some things. First of all, let's introduce you and your background in glass.
Well, I started in glass back in 1974 as a stained glass artist, and I've kind of tried all different types of glass, but I teach and have been involved with the Guild since 1989, and the Glass Guild started as an organization in 1986, so it's been a while. And Charles Taylor Art Center was the only game in town that allowed us to show what we, when we'd have our exhibition. So this has, been the best venue for us, and they've been very good to us. We're very grateful.
Well, it's wonderful, and it is a very, very regional event. I mean, as I walked through, I saw that there were artists from as far away maybe as Midlothian or parts of the central parts of the state, and Norfolk and Virginia Beach, and a lot here on the peninsula, Yorktown, Williamsburg, Hampton, Newport News. So your membership then is fairly wide.
Right. This show invites all artists that live in Virginia, and so that's what we focus on, is really growing the group. And we've had artists from Alexandria, all the way, and many more in the Virginia Beach area, Sandbridge, and even further south.
Well, let's talk first of all then about, you have a couple pieces in the show. Tell me about those.
Well, the pieces I have are kind of like my sleeping giant, the hemlock pieces. They're cast glass. There's a process called pot to verre, which is pasted glass. And that's all done with kiln form work and molding, kind of like lost wax bronze work. It's very similar to the process. So it was a piece that I did after a residency I did at a state park in Michigan. So my work is pretty much more installation style, so those are like small vignettes for me. We have, there are 140 pieces of work in the show, and 50 artists, including the solo show exhibition by Jude Slotzauer. And so Clay McGlamory, who won Best in Show, has these beautiful silk-screened kiln-fired enamel panels, and you'll see that they are just exquisitely done. They're layers of silk-screen panels. He's a master printmaker and teaches at ODU, so he's a good example of a career artist who's pretty phenomenal. And he got into glass because I had asked him to help me with some work. That's kind of how that was started.
You rope people in, don't you?
Yeah, I'm out there just to get everybody addicted to glass. That's my mission in life. So, and the Guild has really been something that I've nurtured with and worked so hard to really build up our membership and to reach it to the point where we're at a museum quality type of show. And that's what I think Charles Taylor and James Warwick Jones has really done for us. He's really raised the caliber of our show that way.
And you've seen, for example, you said there was a student from the Governor's School over on the south side, which has an arts focus. Ours over here has a science focus, but right. Someone who you had sort of mentored.
Yeah, Violet Galante is a wonderful student. She's been mentoring with me for 5 years. She's now at ODU, and she's just gotten into glass. She bought her own kiln and equipment, and she's amazing. And she comes over to my studio over in Newport News and helps me at my studio there.
Now, the artist who did the Zero sub and the Cheetos, I mean, in the drink, it's just it's whimsical, but it's also just beautiful.
Right. Well, Colin McKinnon got interested in glass, took some classes at the Hot Shop there and at Chrysler, and before you know it, he was just really rolling with it. He also was taking classes at TCC. So it's, really changed his life and elevated his work, and he's just expanded doing all kinds of different things. And you'll see classic glass, which are examples right beside of his work, to something as whimsical as that, and that's a great piece. We have the bubbling chocolate milk over there, which is just fantastic. That's Ryan Tanner's piece, I believe. And And that's what a lot of people just try different things. There's a piece, Lisa had done a piece that has the eyes, that the globes that are made over the eyes are actually, she blew those.
That's so
and
neat.
so that's a very different piece. And when you look at this piece, you'll get the after image. If you stare at it, even though it's a red neon and it says green, the after image, when you look above it, you do that for about 30 seconds, you'll see green up above it. So there's a lot of, it's art and science with glass.
And really, there's a lot of places here where you can take classes, learn about the different ways of working with glass. Your studio, go ahead and mention that.
That's Cristallo Art Center. That's up in Newport News, just down from the city center there on Cannon Boulevard.
Now, I don't want to close without mentioning Jude's show because it is amazing. And I forget her last name, so I'll ask you.
Jude Schlautzhauer is just, she's a phenomenal artist. She was my first teacher at VCU when I moved here and took classes up there in '88. And her work, they're beautiful paintings when you go in there. And these are done with what are called aperture pours. And her bone animals are all collected bones that she's made castings of, and then she does those individually and casts them in glass and then makes all these components with found objects of metal. And they're very intricate, very time-consuming pieces. The panel pieces are very thick pieces of glass. They weigh a ton. And the process of that is just having these big pots, and then the glass is just running down and pours and swirls into these beautiful patterns that she later cuts and dissects them and then builds them into components, and the glass refires those, and they go through maybe up to 8 firings in a kiln until she's completed and happy with the pieces.
Well, thank you, Allie. Thank you for talking me through this exhibit. It's absolutely wonderful. I appreciate it. And I hope that you've enjoyed the images that we've shown you from this exhibit, but as Allie says, you really have to see it in person to appreciate the depth and the beauty and some of the reflections that you see on the glass. So I hope you will come by the Charles H. Taylor Art Gallery during this holiday season and look at the exhibit for yourself. Thank you.